Hi there, it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. I have a few items to share with you today, and first up I have these little kind of enamel dots. This is just one packet, you buy them per packet, and I have this on a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of paper just so you can kind of get an idea of the size. And I think on here there are 60 little dots. You can kind of get an idea of their dimension there. And there are 3 different shades of yellow on here. So you can kind of see to the left, and then 2 rows in the middle, and then 2 rows on the right. And I've actually ordered some more colours of these because I really like them. And they seem to be adhering down well between when I filmed this and the voiceover that I'm doing. They seem to be sticking down really well. So I think I'm going to get some more and keep using them. Next up, I have these like silicone molds. Now, I'm not very good at silicone molds and all these things. I don't really use them very often, but I have kind of used a couple when I needed them for a specific project. So this one has the 3 birds. They look kind of like maybe parrots or something like that to me. It doesn't really matter. And then this one is the stars and moons and clouds. And all I have done is I have filled them with some like hot glue gun. I'm just going to zoom in here so you can kind of see them a bit better. So I just did a couple of the birds to give you an idea. And when I use the hot glue, it just makes them really nice and light. So I can definitely use these on cards without adding too much weight, although they definitely do have a lot of dimension. So yeah, I mean, you might have to hand deliver the cards or add some more postage, but anyhow, just for fun. So I have also covered these little birds in like a Sparks paint, and the Sparks is called Raven Black, I think. Yeah, and so just to kind of when I paint them, it gives you a much better idea, and you can kind of see the detail a lot better of the little birds. But yeah, they come out really well when you use hot glue. And I'm sure there are lots of different things that you can use, clays and all those sorts of things. So as I said, I'm not really into that sort of stuff. I just was having a little go when I needed them. Next up, I have this kind of little sewing kind of kit here, or artsy kit. And it has, as I said, it's on a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch paper. And I have die cut out some of these just to give you a rough idea of what they will look like. So that's that little frame. It's a pretty delicate wee frame. It would be not super easy to adhere down, but there's always ways. And then it makes these little scissors, which I have put together to show you. It also makes the paintbrush. Now there's about 4 pieces to the paintbrush that you kind of put together, but the paintbrush is pretty darn cute. I really like it. And then there is a sewing needle and a little piece of thread that you can thread through the top of the needle, and a little button. There is also a stamping tool there that I didn't end up putting together simply because I basically ran out of time, so I apologize. But this is kind of just to give you a rough idea of what it makes. Again, this is on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of paper, so they are fairly small, but they would be perfect for card making, which is of course what I mainly do. Next up, I have this kind of, I don't even know what to call it. It's just a cool die that I saw, and this die cuts beautifully. It is pretty delicate and pretty intricate, but it die cuts so beautifully. This is one of those dies that I pick up that I don't super know what I'm doing with it, but it will probably become a background piece somewhere on a piece of card. It would also be quite cool for mixed media or maybe on your jelly plates to create some impressions and things. So it just looked really pretty, and that is mainly why I ordered it. But again, you can get an idea of the size there on that piece of paper. Next up, I have this gorgeous die here, and I have been die cutting this one and using it already, as you can see. This looks beautiful with some cut out and some black paper. And so the frame does come apart from the edge. I have chosen to keep it attached for now because that's what I was using in my last project. But there's just 2 wee bits there that you just need to snip off if you would like to get rid of it. And the flowers, I didn't end up using the center in my last project, so I have kept the flowers there too, but again, you can just snip them out with some wire snips and they come out just fine. So the way that I have it set up without it all snipping apart, this is how it kind of die cuts. So it cuts this very delicate wee frame to go around the outside, and then it cuts that centerpiece, which you could use them together, you could use them separately. And again, this one cuts really well. I was really impressed. No problems at all cutting all of that little fine detail. So you could, as I said, use them together or use them separately. They both look fine. And the little flowers in the middle are super cute. You could also layer them up because one is slightly bigger than the other, and you could layer them to make kind of a more fuller flower as well. Again, remembering that the card behind it is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of paper, which is kind of a standard card front mostly, so that gives you an idea. Next up, I have this one, is definitely one of my favorites. I believe this one might come from the same seller as the hexagon kind of shaped one earlier. This one looks really, really cool when it's cut out. I also really like the negative, whatever's left behind. So this is what it cuts out, and I'm just kind of zooming in to give you the best idea possible. I think I also really love the teal color that I cut it out from, so that doesn't help, but super pretty. And as I said, here is the scrap that I was left with, and how gorgeous does this one look too? So I think maybe you could do some really cool die cut inlay, or yeah, I'll have to see. I might have to play around with this one, but I have a few ideas brewing in my mind. So anyway, that one is super cool. And then the other thing I was thinking of is if you layered them up. So obviously I cut another one out in some black paper, and then if you layer them up together, I don't know, you could create something quite cool. Definitely a kind of main focal point maybe. But and then I'm like seeing glitter or gems or something in the middle, or I'm not sure. I'll have to, as I said, I'll have to go and have a wee play at some stage. Next up is this kind of background die. This one is super pretty. My daughter asked me to cut this out in she found some silver mirror cardstock. So this is what I cut it out from to show you guys in a second. But just showing you that it is basically 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. So it kind of covers the whole panel of your card front. And as I said, here is it all cut out. The mirror cardstock doesn't make it super easy to see just how pretty this is, but it is gorgeous. So I hope that that gives you kind of a rough idea of what it looks like. Anyway guys, that is all I have to share for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I really appreciate all your kind and thoughtful comments that you guys are leaving me at the moment. It makes a really lovely part of my day to go through and read them all. See you later. Bye.